Hello, hello, my magical friends. Welcome to another Witchful Ways podcast episode. I am Annika, and thank you so much for listening, for subscribing, and for all the feedback and interaction that you guys give me on my social media and website. I truly adore it. Okay, today we're going to talk about 4 reasons that your spells may not be working. And when I talk about spells, you guys know that I talk about it doesn't have to be anything that's ceremonial. It doesn't have to be anything ritualistic. It doesn't have to, and rituals and spell work are 2 completely different things. But you do your spell cast modality the way that works best for you. Mine is candles and sigils. I love candles and sigils, and working with those 2 magical modalities together brings me into a very powerful feel. I also, because I work with candles, obviously work with the element of fire. So however you decide to do it, it's wonderfully perfect for you, right? I always say you do you, witchy poo. So let's talk about, okay, not about how do you cast the spells, but about what are the reasons why they may not be working? And this stems from a class that I had, this month's class in my membership, my Sister Circle membership, was on spell casting. So, and the laws of it and the do's and don'ts of it kind of thing. And then we got into, well, what happens when they don't work? So let's talk about that. Finally, right? Babbled long enough. So first, number 1 reason, or I'm not going to put these in any order. I'm going to say 1 reason why your spells may not be working is because you're worrying about the how. And I say this over and over and over again because it's true. You have to absolutely not worry about the how. You have to understand that letting go of the how universe is going to provide it. How the heck am I going to get this new car that I just, manifested out there? How is this going to come to me? How is this going to work out so that, this person gives me a call and offers me this job? Like, you don't have to worry about any of that because universe, God, one, all, source, whatever you want to call it, already has it in the plans for you. You've asked for it. So that means it's already on its way. And going a step further into that, it's really already happened for you. But we're not going to go down that lane today either. So worrying about the how really puts a little bit of doubt in the whole process, right? Because if you're worried about the how, you're like, well, maybe it's not going to work because this isn't, happening the way that I thought it was going to or whatever. So worrying about the how really puts a damper on it. Let's talk about the second one. The second one is focusing on what you do not want. Why would you do that, right? Why would you focus on what you don't want? Well, when you're spell casting, when you're casting your spells and you're working your magic and you're writing out your incantations, you may be putting, let's call them negative words into your rituals, incantation spells, whatever. The universe doesn't recognize negative words. Doesn't recognize them. So that means when you are trying to manifest through your magic and your spells, a new car, I'm working for a new car. I'm going to get the new car. I see the new car in my driveway. I hope it's not the green one. And this new car is going to look great. It's sitting in front of my house as long as it's not the green one. And I know that I've done everything right and this car has come to me, but I don't want the green one. Do you know what universe is going to show up for you? In your driveway is going to slam down a car. And what color is it going to be? It's going to be the green one. Why? Because that's what you put your focus into. You put your focus into not wanting the green one, but universe doesn't see the don't and won't, right? The universe negates that out. All universe and energy can feel is that you are focused on the green one. So it assumes that's what you want because that's where your focus is based. Okay, so even though you're not intentionally focusing on what you don't want, in a roundabout way, You may be focusing in the background, let's call it, of what you don't want. And that's what universe heard loudest. So that's what you received. We consider that as a spell that didn't work right or went wrong. But in fact, you did a perfect spell and were able to manifest exactly what universe heard you ask for. Even though you said don't, it doesn't hear it. Okay, so I think that makes sense. The next one is you don't believe in your magic. If there is anything that will put the kibosh on a spell right in the first few minutes of casting or during its casting, is because you don't believe in your magic. You don't believe that it's possible that you're going to actually receive it or achieve it. So when you put that along with that has to bring some doubt with it, now you double whammied yourself, right? So you don't believe in your magic. That would be similar to, let's go back to the car. I'm going to manifest this car for myself. I saw this beautiful car. That's the car that I want. I'm going to love it. I hope it's not the green one. And you cast your spell and then you go, yeah, I bet that's going to work. Right? Like that was way too easy. That's it. There any kind of doubt. You're not believing in yourself. You're not believing in your power. You're not believing in the magic. And that negates your magic. You have to have the belief in yourself to be able to follow it through. And for universe to go, yep, she's asked for what she's want, or he has asked for what they've wanted. They've given specifics. So they believe that they're going to get this green car. So that's what I'm going to give them. Okay. So let's talk about the last one. The last one is kind of a one, but I like to put it in there because it's about using someone else's spell. So when you are looking to create a spell or a protection jar or a recipe or a potion or an oil blend or whatever it is that you're creating, I always teach and I invite people that they should be doing things that they are emotionally tied to, because your correspondence lists, your, green means money and blue means health and whatever your correspondence lists are, those lists were originally written by one person. They're written by someone, and they decided that in that moment, to them, green meant money. And then somebody else did the same thing. And then it got written down in a book, and now everybody's copying everybody else in the book, and this becomes a quote-unquote traditional correspondence. But maybe green doesn't mean money to you. Maybe gold means money to you. Maybe silver means money to you. Maybe yellow means money to you, right? Whatever you personally feel. Now, I always take it back to and use the lavender, right? So you go online and you find, I need something to help me rest, for tranquility, for ease of stress, for woosah, right? And here's your recipe that you found online. It has lavender in it. And you go, I don't really like lavender. In fact, to me, it kind of smells like dirty feet. I don't know. Right? I personally love lavender, but so if you don't love that, if that doesn't elicit the feelings that you need it to, then why would you put it in your spell? Just because somebody said it's supposed to be in there. Even when we get the best of recipes, grandma's cookie recipe, bread recipes, whatever, we oftentimes usually end up tweaking them to our personal liking. Whether that's in the ingredients, whether that's in the timing that is in the oven, whatever it is, we tweak it. And it's the same thing with any magical recipe. You have to make sure that whatever you're using is eliciting that emotional response from you. So if lavender doesn't mean tranquility to you, but the smell of, carnations does, then use carnation instead of lavender, regardless of what the spell says. Because if you stick the lavender in there, the spell's not going to work for you. It's not going to have the amount of energy. It's not going to have the emotional connection to you. And therefore, it's not going to be as potent or as strong as it could be. when you're using something that works for you, that elicits response from you. So that's why I always suggest and invite people to write their own spells and to really, really master the ingredients and tools that you're going to be using so that you can mix and match things together and know that you only have to have a magical herbal arsenal of, 9 to 12 herbs, not 106 that you have to try and memorize and figure out what somebody else said they meant. Because a lot of the times they're not going to be that same traditional correspondence for you personally. Okay, that is my 4 tips for why your spells may not be working or may not be working as swiftly or as powerfully as you would like them to. If you, again, this kind of stemmed from a class in my membership, which is the Sister Circle membership. If you're interested in the Sister Circle membership, make sure you get over to my website at witchfulways.com and click on the Become a Member tab, and that'll take you to all the information that you need to know about the amazing Sister Circle. Until next time, have a wonderfully magical rest of your night.